Hello and welcome back. This is just a quick video to show you some of the things I've added, some of the things I've changed, and to talk about the direction that I hope the game will go in going forwards. So without any further delay, let's join the server and see what's going on. So the first thing is you'll notice is the cursor. So before, the centre of the cursor changed colour if the line of sight was blocked or if there was an action you could perform. Now the whole cursor changes colour. Just makes everything a little clearer, and when you're over an action it will also give you a little tooltip. At the moment this one just says press E to access the inventory, but the other ones will be a bit more informative perhaps. So that brings us probably to the second quality of life improvement, and that is when you pick something up, if there's space available in the place where it would typically go, so like clothing will go into the clothing slots. If I drop an item that's normally a hotbar item and pick it up, it will go into the hotbar slot. So that just improves just general play really. As you might have noticed on that's a third improvement, is that dropped items now, when you hover over them, will tell you what they are. So it makes it easier to identify what you're picking up before you pick them up, and if there's a group of items dropped, which ones you want to pick up, rather than having to pick them all up and throw away ones you don't want. They are still red cubes in the main. Some have been changed now to be little models. The rest will probably turn to models as we go forwards, but for now they will remain as red cubes. Okay, crafting. I think I've shown you crafting before. I've made a few changes to the crafting UI. When you select an item you want to craft now, you get a little details panel up. It will show you how long you want it takes to craft, how many you get when you craft it, and the resources required to do the crafting, as well as the number that you've currently got. If you can't craft it, the craft button will remain disabled. So for instance, that door there takes 300 wood to craft. At the moment I have none. If I go and start collecting some, it will show me how many I've got, and then when I have 300 it will highlight that it's available. That brings us nicely to another new feature, and that is behaviour trees. In this instance there were a few too many wolves that came at once. There wasn't much I could do, but I have implemented behaviour trees to add some semblance of UI to animals and going forward NPCs in the game. For now it's just wolves, and their behaviour is actually quite simple in that if you go too close to them they will chase you until they either kill you or you get somewhere they can't reach, at which case they will mill about for a few seconds and then go back to their territory. Obviously their behaviour can get more complex going forward, but that is what it is for now. Thankfully, I think they are far enough away from this model that I can loot him and get the stuff I had. See probably another new feature coming into play, and that is day-night cycle. At the moment day-night cycle is pretty quick. That is simply for playtesting. Playtesters don't tend to want to hang around for hours waiting for night and day, so it comes around quite quickly. But as you can see, the day will turn to night, and the night will turn to a nice starry night with the moon, and then it will turn back to day. During the night there will be periods it gets quite dark. You can either take refuge in a building with lights, or you can use an item like torch. So this is I've got to play about with the lighting for both torch and fires, but it's torch, and this actually highlights another new feature, and that is secondary usage on items. So at the moment that is only implemented for melee items, of which torch is a melee item. But if you press the secondary button now, your item you're holding will change to secondary mode, and can be, in case of a melee item, could be thrown. Also, I've made a change to the throw arc, and that is the middle mouse button will now raise and lower the arc you're throwing at, and the closer to level you get, the wider it will get. So torches can't be thrown very far, so you probably go for about 45 degree will be your furthest distance, and when you throw them they will land and they will burn for a couple of minutes. Certain other melee items like the axe, if we go somewhere a bit lighter to show this, can be thrown much quicker. So if I turn to secondary mode, I bring my my throw arc down to about level with the axe. I can throw that and it will stick into walls. The reason it disappeared there is because line of sight was blocked by the pillar. If we do that again and turn to secondary mode, we can throw the axe. We can throw them at things like bottles, but throw it at the wall and it will stick in the wall. It will stick in players. It will do damage to players, and you can pick it up afterwards and reuse it. So the next feature is on buildings. So I think I've shown you the building logic before. Let me craft a door up there, and let me get enough wood to craft some shutters as well. Just put my torch on so I can see where I'm going. So it's come back to day now. We've gone through the night. I think it's day. It could be Starry Night. And this is Starry Night, I think. If we come over here, we can craft some shutters. Oh, I need 10 more wood still. So let's go and find some more trees. And be careful over here. There is another wolf pack amongst these trees. Wolf packs will basically live and die as a pack. By that I mean once all the wolves in a pack are killed, they will respawn. Probably. I think it's currently 2 minutes after the last one dies. See, all of that is adjustable. So it's becoming day again. I think it's a bit easier to see. Right, let's take ownership of this building. I think what we'll do is we will just throw our torch in here so we've got a bit of visibility. Right, so as you can see, we don't own this building at the moment. If we try and put a door in, it tells us we can't. Likewise, if we craft up some shutters now, if we try and put shutters in, we'd get the same thing. So we take ownership of this building. We now have a safe we can put stuff in that can never be robbed from, even if someone breaks into the house. And we can drop the door in the slot. So we now have that. If we put that, we could craft a lock. So we've got enough wood to craft a lock. So we craft a lock up. And we've got some shutters now as well. So shutters are a bit better than glass windows in that they can't really be broken as easily. You can open them, shoot out of them, shut them, and only the person owning the building can open and shut them. So once we've got a lock, we can put a lock on the door, and now no one else can open that door that we don't give permission to. So what else have we got? So we've covered the day nights. We've got sleeping bags. So at the moment the map is still quite small, so they're largely useless. But if you craft up sleeping bags now, so if you see on there, we've got a little bedroll. I don't know how much wood we need for that. We only need 100. Let's go and get a tree. Alright, so we can craft a sleeping bag. And then once that sleeping bag is crafted, we can use it as a spawn point. As I said, with this map being quite small, we'll keep it smaller for playtesting. We don't really need it, but it proves the point. So I can put the sleeping bag down here. If I look on the map now, I have spawn point from the building I own and the spawn point from the sleeping bag. Right. I think I showed you the dropped items. I have shown you the building, and I have shown you behaviour trees. The only other thing I wanted to show you was, right, for this we've got to go and kill a wolf. We could kill a horse, but we're not going to do that. We could take a horse out with us actually. I'll show you what happens if you put a horse amongst a pack of wolves. So let's find our wolf pack. She's somewhere around here, I'm sure. They found us. So if we're on there, we get attacked. But if we're on the horse, they'll attack the horse first, and then they'll attack us. Okay, that didn't quite go to plan, but we will go back there with our gun ready this time, and I will show you harvesting a wolf, getting meat, and cooking and eating meat. So what I need is I will need a campfire, which for that I will need 100 wood, and I will need some meat, and for that I will need an animal. So we could harvest the horse that died, or we can get us a wolf. Let's have a look at what we've got. There's a bit of carnage over here. So both horses and wolves are harvestable. Yeah. Let's pretend that didn't happen. If I was any good at editing, it wouldn't have happened. But I'm not, so it did. Right, last try on this. I think we've got the wolf numbers down now, so it's kind of random. The wolves spawn within a certain area of their territory. They could spawn further apart, in which case you can sometimes pick them off one by one. And sometimes they spawn quite close to each other, which means that when you set one off, you set them all off. Going forward, as I increase their AI logic, that's what will happen anyway. They will act as a pack. But at the moment they kind of act individually, but spawn as a pack, as it were. So as you harvest these, I'll show you. Into your inventory, you get some meat. This is uncooked and shows you a new feature, which is consumables. As you can see then, if you put it in your hotbar and press that number, you will eat it. If you eat raw meat, you will get ill. So what we need to do is we need to cook some meat on a fire. So let's find the player that died that had most of the wood. That's that one. So I just need 10 more wood. I'm going to try and do it with that. I think all the wolves are dead now. Right, so let's craft up a fire. And once the fire's crafted, we can cook the meat. Another new feature, which unfortunately I can't show you because all my guns have run out of ammo, but any weapon that takes ammo now can be unloaded. So you put it in your hotbar, select it, then press the unload button, and it will unload. What's the unload button, I hear you ask? Well, is feature number, I've lost count, but this allows you to remap your keys, and more importantly shows you what the buttons are for the default keys. You can always reset them to default. If you click on one, you can then choose what button to use to replace it with. You apply that. There's actually a little bug there, and if you select the same button again, it tells you that button's already in use. I will fix that. Right, so fire. So we could put a fire down. If we put the meat and wood on the fire and then click start, fire will burn, and every 10 bits of wood will cook a piece of meat. And then eating a cooked piece of meat down here will actually give us health and not make us vomit. I think that largely covers most of the new features. A lot of them are little, but they make a big difference to the game when you're playing it. And in terms of where I want the game to go, well, what I want is I've got two branches going at the moment. One is AI. I'm going to improve the wolf AI and add an NPC AI, so they'll shoot at you and take cover. That will allow me to implement more areas of interest. So I'm thinking something like a fort run by militia, more towns run by marshals and sheriffs, that if you cause trouble in, they'll come after you. And for the wolves, I want them all to act much more as a pack, give you a warning when you get close to them, and then they'll alert each other and they'll all come after you, and assign themselves different roles within the pack as they try and pursue you. And the other branch I've got going is to do with player stats. So talking things like hunger, hydration, temperature of the player, and things like eating food and drinking water will obviously impact those directly. The more you run around in hot weather, the more dehydrated you'll get, the more hungry you'll get. Clothing will keep you warm at night, might keep you too hot during the day, you have to be careful. Things like hats will keep you cooler in the day and warmer at night. So there'll be lots of stats that you can effectively influence while playing the game, whether that's in clothing that you're wearing, or if you're by a fire at night you'll be warmer, if you're inside at night you'll be warmer, stuff like that. The other thing I want to do going forward is actually introduce the idea of skills. So as you do more and get more experience, you'll be able to effectively assign XP points to different skill attributes. So you might be able to draw your gun quicker, or perhaps your accuracy on your subsequent shots will be slightly less. Nothing that makes you a superhero, but just things that just slowly improve your player and kind of make you you. And the idea I think I have is that they will persist across what I'm going to call chapters. So what I want is a chapter to last, I don't know, maybe month, maybe 2 months. So during that chapter, you'll be able to stake claims, you'll be able to build buildings or build farms, basically contribute to running. At the end of the chapter, a load of stats will be produced as to who was the most heroic, who was the most villainous, who produced the most stuff, that sort of thing. So you've got some good stats going forward, but things like your XP will roll over. That will be persistent kind of forever. So as you pick up these skills and your character becomes you sort of learn, and you can add to it. So in terms of buildings, I have logic so you can build from the foundation up. I'm not sure yet how to implement it from the point of view of keeping the theme of the Western alive. What I think I will do is just limit the type of buildings you can build, or the size. I just don't want big boxy buildings that are designed purely from a sort of game perspective rather than a theme perspective. And part of that will be that I've already decided that your safe and your foundation safe zone will never be destroyable. So no one will be able to destroy, well, they'll be able to destroy your building overnight, but they'll never be able to kind of take away your land. And they'll never be able to take any items that you've got stored in the safe, so you'll always have a starting point going forward. And that kind of adds to the theme as well, in that if you've built a town with your friends and someone moves in you don't like, the way to get rid of them will be to hound them out the town. Just keep breaking in, taking their stuff until they get fed up and don't want to live there anymore. But that's kind of thematic within the game. But what you can't do is you can't wait for someone to go offline, break in, take everything, destroy their foundation, and they wake up with absolutely nothing. I just kind of don't want to support that within the game. It might change going forward. It's the idea. So kind of the idea I have is that you stake a claim. Within that claim you'll be able to build a building, you might be able to build a barn, perhaps some points like the horse bars, and at those bars horses will spawn, so you can contribute to your town by having spawn points for horses. Perhaps someone will build a little metal press and they can start producing bullets. Someone else will produce a doctor's and they can get antibiotics in there, and bandages and health packs. And the idea is that you kind of form your little towns and then go and go and attack other towns. Some people, I'm sure, will be travelling bandits, you know, that don't really have any abode and just go and cause trouble, and that's the idea as well. You know, it's all kind of thematic. But for that, our new players, we have a few people that play test regularly. They seem to enjoy it. We need more. I need to increase visibility. It'd be good to get more people playing at this stage just to see how everything holds together. But that's kind of the way I want to go. So kind of almost a role-playing element within a chapter of a game. And the chapter will be long enough that you can do lots of stuff, and it doesn't feel like it's a waste. But you know, the chapter will come to an end, and then a new chapter will start, perhaps with a new terrain, perhaps with new layouts. There'll be points of interest, like I said before, something like a fort that you can attack. You know, it'll have loot inside. There are obviously towns will be your primary place where you can pick up bullets if you haven't got your own player-owned presses and stuff like that. And I imagine things like that will take a long time to build and require more than one player's resources to sort of get there, to encourage community within your town, if not across towns. You know, the idea is that towns will be built close to railways, because once the map's bigger, railway will be a very efficient way of getting around. Horses will become a necessity because there'll be stamina and you can't just run across the map. All these things to try and drive the gameplay in the direction of making it feel like a Western, making you feel like you're taking part in a Western. That obviously will involve players. Don't need them at the moment. This is a hobby. This is solely done by me as a solo dev. So things take time, but on the plus side, I really enjoy doing it, so it's not going to disappear overnight. Going forward, there's no reason why people can't host their own servers. There is nothing proprietary about any of the server code or anything, so you know, you can just go and create your own ones and populate it with just your friends if you want. There'll be a strong player versus environment vibe, but there will always be player versus player as well. So that's the kind of ideas I've got going forward. So big towns connected by railroads, people forming their own towns, creating the buildings that either spawn in or allow them to create the items that they need, and then effectively, you know, moving to another town to take over, perhaps going there to help out if there's bandits nearby, that sort of thing. We'll see what happens, but it would be lovely if people that watch this that think that might be fun, just come and join in a playtest. I'm not going to lie, playtests can be frustrating experiences for people. You know, there are always bugs, there are always things that don't quite work, but on the whole, I think people kind of have fun on them. And the more bugs you find, the more that gets fixed, and the more people that play in the playtest, the more excitement I have for the game, and the quicker things get done. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.